Richard Childress Racing officially announces Kyle Busch to the 8 and says they plan to run Tyler Reddick in a third charter next season. Spot on, spot off, Brett.
Spot on, Richard Childress Racing. Obviously, you gained a gigantic talent. You gained a stud. Kyle is 37 years old, I believe, and if I am Richard Childress, I think he is a stud until he's 45. Is that fair?
Yeah, I would say at the early side 43, but yeah, I mean.
So you got a 6 to 7 year plan here on this guy. In racing, we do everything realistically in the driver world in 2 to 3 year increments. So he's got a double shelf life in terms of what contracts look like. You don't have to worry about, like what we said last week, is it the car, is it the driver? You're going to know the driver's getting you everything that he can out of it. So I'm spot on for that. I'm spot off for the direction and the distraction that I think he's created with his comments about Tyler Reddick and the fact that he's going to run him in a third car, because from an economics perspective, that gets really expensive, okay, because you're going to have to add people. Guess what? That's expensive. You're going to have to get a charter. That means buy or lease. That's expensive. You're going to have to find funding because that third car is not funded, right? To go out and run the way that Richard Childress Racing runs, and I realize RCR builds their own motors, but at the end of the day, everything it operates on about a $10 to $15 million budget. So is he going to be willing to go out and spend that kind of money to run Tyler Reddick in a lame duck situation, or is this a great, big, gigantic PR move? That's my question for you got such a great day. Why let the narrative go to Tyler Reddick and be about what you plan to do, Justin, or not do with him? Because I don't see the advantage for Richard saying that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a lot of this comes up in racing a lot, where it's believe none of what you hear and about half of what you see. This is the gamesmanship here is basically you're looking at RCR going, well, we're not going to let him go. And 2311 going, well, that's all right, we don't need him. You know, we've got Kurt, and if Kurt don't run, we've got another guy we can put in there next year, so you can keep him. And I think this just comes down to basically who blinks first. Now, like I know you talk about the expense of it. There is a less expensive option for him if he really wants to make Tyler sit over there, and that's just stick him in a 78 car. You know, they have the people, they have a team. It doesn't have to, you know, they have an alliance with RCR. He can lease the charter for essentially giving him engines all year long and just kind of stick Tyler over there and go, hey, enjoy your last year over here. You know, you're not going anywhere. So, and like I said, Denny has options because they're hopeful Kurt's coming back, obviously. That's their primary plan is to get Kurt back in the 45 next year. If that doesn't happen and if Tyler's still stuck at RCR, they have a guy sitting there waiting in the wings to get in that 45 car. And so it's basically just who's going to blink first here, in my opinion. You know, is RC so spiteful over what happened with Tyler that he's willing to just dump some money into the 78 team for a year, which I don't think it's going to be. I think it's essentially going to be, Tyler, you go drive the 78 and we, quote unquote, lease a charter to give the 78 engines.
Richard Childress Racing has to field the car for Tyler Reddick.
Okay, so they put RCR on.
Per his contract, right? So if I'm Richard Childress and I'm a Hall of Fame owner who employed Dale Earnhardt forever, Kevin Harvick, Clint Boyer, now Kyle Busch, do I really want one of my cars to go around and ride around last all day?
I mean,
that's how you're going to finish his legacy out.
How mad are you?
You shouldn't, but you might.
Justin, what do you think?
I'm spot on. Spot off, first of all, for losing Tyler, right? Tyler's obviously really good, and I've worked with him since he came to RCR with our alliance. But spot on, I think Kyle can bring a lot to Chevrolet in general and a lot to our campus over at RCR with colleague, and hopefully it helps us be faster.
TJ?
Just kind of what Brett said. Richard did RCR is going to be that's big for them to get Kyle. So congrats to them. That's an A driver you're getting and going to be competitive with him. But it's just going to be so awkward with the rest of this stuff. Like, it's already awkward this year some, and it's going to get worse. So I would just cut ties with it and be done.
I mean, your organization had 2 teams in the playoff in the postseason and the Cup Series. They both fell out first round. Your focus needs to be based on building freaking something special. And in our world, whether everybody likes this or not, the team who spends the most money is typically the team who goes the fastest. It's just how this sport has worked since I've been in it.
Getting Kyle's a start.
getting Kyle is the start to going fastest. So do you really want to be playing this Tyler Reddick game into November, into December, into the offseason?
It could go long.
It could go long, right? So do you really want to be playing this game, or do you really want to focus on next year winning again and going deeper into the postseason? Because this Tyler Reddick thing is going to become a distraction if it's not already. It was a distraction at the freaking press conference when you announced your new guy.
Yeah, the first questions you're getting asked about in your Kyle Busch press conference is what's going on with Tyler Reddick is already an issue.
I'd have said, I don't care where Tyler Reddick goes. He can get the hell out of here right now. Good luck, Tyler. Because now, guess what? It's Tyler's problem to find a ride. Because to your point, that's Kurt Busch's car.
Yeah.
If he comes back, Tyler, put it on Tyler and be like, hey, dude, have fun, man.
See ya.
You wanted to leave, so guess what? Get the out of here.
Yeah, you out. One of the things I think is interesting is, and me and you talked about this the other day, Kyle Busch has never really had to do more with less. He's always kind of been in the best in the garage.
No, that's wrong. You're wrong. When he started his Xfinity team.
But how long did that last?
And
That's
what
what I'm saying.
But I'm just saying, he tried to do. The second he didn't have what he felt like he needed, he quit. You're going to a team now where you left one of the best. You left one of the best organizations in the sport. Before that, you were at Hendrick, the other best organization in the sport. Before that, you were in. Did he ever run a Roush truck race? I know he was going to, and then they changed the age limits.
He did,
but that was Roush trucks who were dominating at the time. So he's never really had to. The one time he had to fend for himself, he quit. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does. And by no means is the 8 car not a good car, but it's not. I don't think it's a great car, and we'll see if he can turn that ship around and make it a great car. But there's also other dominoes. We saw that one of the questions came up about KBM, which obviously is going to switch to Chevrolet, and they'll have to find some drivers because Toyota's obviously going to pull their Toyota funded drivers back to themselves. And I've seen a lot of people questioning, oh, this is such a big hit for Toyota. Toyota's going to suffer for this. No, not really, in my opinion, because they basically funded KBM. So all Toyota's going to do is take that money and go fund somebody else, David Gilliland, one of these other.
I think the opposite happens. I think Chevrolet pulls money from existing programs that are in that. I don't think Chevrolet just comes up with $5 million from another budget to give Kyle Busch Motorsports. I think Chevrolet pulls back resources from some of its other teams to be able to afford to get Kyle Busch Motorsports.
100%. I'm just saying, Toyota's not going to. This is not going to really.
It's an opposite effect. People are missing it. They're missing the boat.
Yeah, they're. It's actually hurting Chevrolet more than it's hurting Toyota, the lower series teams anyway. But yeah, Toyota. All Toyota's going to do. I mean, there's teams out there where they fund ThorSport more. They get a guy like David Gilliland to switch back to Toyota because he was a Toyota team, went back to Ford. There's teams out there that, they could talk Denny into starting a damn truck team because it's going to be fully funded. Toyota's going to put all their backing behind it and to make sure they have a pipeline for these young guys, the Buddy Kofoids of the world that are coming up that they need to have seats for, that they're going to have to go somewhere, and then Toyota's going to make sure they have a place to go.
People need to understand that just because you see a manufacturer on a car, it doesn't mean they do a lot for you.
Yeah.
Right? There are teams that it does. Like if you're Hendrick Motorsports and you're Chevrolet, they're giving you everything. They're giving you millions of dollars. They're giving you tons of company cars. They're giving you whatever you want in terms of back in the day what would be wind tunnel time and those types of things. Then there are Chevrolet teams that only get company cars for their drivers. And then there are Chevrolet teams who don't get a damn thing, right? Yeah. So there is a very big scope, right, Justin? Am I wrong?
Yeah, how much Chevy support do you think Spire gets?
None.
Maybe
not
some.
Much.
I don't
they
know.
Get some,
but
a company car.
I'm sure.
They ain't getting much.
But there it is, right? There's a tier program.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
yeah,
it's definitely different.
I think the question is, if I'm a reporter in this garage, I'm going to walk around and I'm going to ask TJ at Spire. I'm going to ask Dale Jr. and Xfinity Series owner, is Chevrolet going to cut your budget? Are they going to hurt? Where are they getting this money from? Because it's going to hurt somebody. I think.
100%. To your point about that, we used to go to Chevy meetings, and Justin was probably in some of them at Spire. We would go to the Daytona or Talladega Chevy meeting, and it would be like, okay, here's a list of these guys are going to roll off in this position off of pit road in practice, and then these guys down here, you make sure you can get in line with us if you want, but you're going to fall into the back and just let these guys do what they got to do.
It was tiered there.
Yeah, I mean, everything there is tiered. So it's to your point, but yeah, I saw a lot of people just harping on the fact that, oh my God, this Toyota's really going to take a hit here by losing KBM, and I think it's, like you said, I think it's the other way around a little bit.
I'm a big fan of RCR making this move, though. Huge move for them. I think they get Kyle Busch at probably a below market rate compared to where obviously he was this past year, and it's only good things for them going to come out of this.
We've got exciting news. OfferPad wants to buy your home. Go to OfferPad.com right now and tell them all about it. You'll receive a cash offer within 24 hours.